Hello, guys, it's me again, Aswad. And for this podcast, I'm going to do a review of my now favorite Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And I'm playing this in 2021. I think this is now my favorite Assassin's Creed game of all the inside the franchise so far, and I will explain why. So for and I'm saying this is 2021. Let me share a bit of a history first before I get into the game. My first introduction into Assassin's Creed world is a bit late. My first game, AC game, is Origins, where the hero Bayek goes into Egypt adventure, trying to save Cleopatra and whatnot, and trying to restart the first Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. But I played it and I finished it, and then I went on to play Odyssey, and then I did not like Odyssey. I played halfway because it's so long, and then I went back to Black Flag, which I love. Black Flag has great character. I love it, and then I went into Syndicate. So it's a big comparison and contrast kind of experience. I think Black Flag is still on top tier, better than Odyssey and Origins, and I will explain to you before we go into Syndicate why it's such a departure. Okay, Black Flag is considered a standalone game for me. It doesn't connect you so much to this future abstergo kind of whatever in the future. I mean, that's the part that I hate most about games, this Assassin's Creed franchise, because you have to go back to this future and past. I prefer it to be full on in the past. And for me, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is great as a pirate simulator. It's one of the best pirate simulator, and still is utterly replayable. So many times I played it. Okay. And then, why is it? I like Origins and Syndicate. After a while, after I've gone back to play Black Flag and Syndicate, I now hate Origins and Odyssey, and I'll probably not be playing Valhalla. And why? Because all these three games, the later part of the Assassin's Creed, is no longer an Assassin's Creed game. You are no longer playing assassins. You are playing basically a role-playing RPG kind of fighter, and it's such a departure from the Assassin's Creed lore. Because you are no longer the assassination move that you can have the enjoyment in Syndicate after I discovered it again is no longer in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I'm told it's more of a RPG kind of things, and you have to upgrade your character, whatnot. And that's after I discovered the best. I started to compare Origins and Syndicate. No, not for me. Okay, now let's go into the review of the best. I think one of the best Syndicate Assassin's Creed game is this Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, let me give you a brief introduction about the story. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you are playing the Fry siblings, twins, and this is a great first time they allowed players to either play as a girl or as a man or a woman. And these people are twins. They have their own separate adventures and also individual adventures, and you can choose. There are playthrough that you can choose whether you want to play either one. You get Evie Fry and Jacob Fry, and the game takes place in London, England, and that alone, I think one of the best aspect of the game is such a more contained place, and I'll get into deeper into that. And you have to find, of course, of all Assassin's Creed, game, you have to work for Abstergo, and then you have to find out all this shred of whatever, all this kind of Suzu magic future stuff like that happened in the past, or kind of Apple of Eden kind of thing, which I really, really don't like, but they put so much emphasis on that in later games. In this game, the future part, the Abstergo part, I find it's such a relief that those are not the big part of this game. You are not even like, they show cutscenes of the future, of the present day, but it's just cutscenes, and you don't have to play through it, you don't have to live through it. And what this makes the game, you are more immersed into the main game rather than taken out. Like in previous games, or in some of the new Assassin's Creed, when they change the mode from the past to the present day, I've always taken out. Because I'm not into the modern day Abstergo stuff, and that always takes me out of the game. I prefer to be in the period when I'm playing, and this game allows a lot of that, and I enjoying this game because of that. You are focused on England, basically London and the surrounding areas, and I love this contained locations. Okay, before you make it, like I'm saying, I'm doing this review in 2021, so I'm comparing it also to Origins and Syndicate. I'm not playing Valhalla, but I remember I heard they also use the same kind of RPG system, which really, really bad. I will now go into the gameplay of Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is 100% an assassination game. You can do whatever, you can do how to want to approach the mission, and the mission have a lot of variety. I'll go to the mission later bit, but I just want the thing that made me love this game. It is the assassinations. You are now playing as a stealth character once again. This is so much a big difference between this and Origins and Odyssey and whatnot. This is because you will enjoy it so much. You started to wonder why they take it out of Origins. Origin is really a RPG fighter. RPG swords and shields and whatnot. And Odyssey, they take out shields, I think. Yeah, I mean, those kind of things really such a difference when you get to play Syndicate. And Syndicate have just upgrades to increase your capability as an assassin, and I love that. And you got, like I say, you got two characters, Evie and Jacob, and Evie is full on, it focus more on assassination, but if you don't like that, you can choose Jacob, but because he's more of a brawler, of a fighter, but both can play almost the same kind of way, regardless. So you don't have this kind of thing that in Origins and in Odyssey and Valhalla, you need to choose your character in the beginning as in to play a woman or man. In this game, you can change on the fly. When you're doing missions, you can play it as Evie or Jacob, unless there are character specific missions that you have to play as specific characters. But regardless, the play style is still the same. You can do assassination, you can do normal fighting, but I love that focus on assassination again on this Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's so fluid, it's so beautiful, and I love if you're a fan of stealth and assassination, you will find the beauty in this game, Syndicate, better than Origins, better than Odyssey and whatnot. I mean, why not, man? I mean, seriously, I can go on. It's so beautiful. Okay. Next, besides the character, the assassination gameplay, and now the weapons. Okay, now if you go into any other reviews, some people complain that the limitation of the weapon. There's only 3 weapons here, the 3 weapon types, which is the Kikuri, there is a small dagger, not a small dagger, but a dagger, and then you have a cane sword, and what do you call that? Oh man, uh, oh man, I'm the that you put in your fingers. What do you call that? That I can remember in Malay, but I can't remember the word right now in English. But let's just say a punching kind of weapon. Oh man, so there's a three type of weapons here, and some people complain there's not enough variety, and I would say, okay, compared to Origin have a lot of weapon type. You have spear, swords, double swords, daggers, whatever, right? Now, why in this instance I would go for Syndicate rather than all this variety of weapon. It simplifies your play. You are not focusing too much on weaponry, upgrading your weaponry. That's how I go into the RPG part. You are focused on either three weapons. Like I said, the kikuri, the dagger, the sword, cane sword, and the punching weapon. I'm sorry if I forgot just now in the middle of this. What's that kind of name of it? I know in Malay the word is buku lima, but I can't remember in English. But it's okay. Just bear with me. Now, you are just focusing on your character and your mission. You don't have to focus on the type of weapon that you want to use. Because basically this is still a full-on assassination game. You want to get the best assassination, the silent assassination type, and that is the main focus. If I be honest with you, there is element of brawler where you have to fight a large group of bad guys, but then you can choose the three weapons that I said, and they don't play too much of a difference. And I'll give you the differences between the three weapons that are available here. I want to go back into Origins. Origins is so much macro and tedious. You have to focus on the type of weapon, the type of upgrade, and then every time you get a better weapon, you want to upgrade that weapon. If you focus on that, you are not focusing on the story and your character building, and that takes away a lot. That does not happen in Syndicate. Syndicate, you are focused on your character story, your adventures, and because it's not an RPG, that is such a big difference here. This is not an RPG. You are just focusing on doing your game, enjoying the world, playing your mission. You are not focusing on upgrading all the little things. There is an upgrade to the weapons because you upgrade to make it a powerful weapon as you gain level better, but there is not like a complicated or tedious kind of getting the best gear all the time. You get it, you upgrade it, that's it. My level of playing this game, because I played Origins and Odyssey, which have that so much into that game. Big part of the game is just upgrading your weapon, upgrading your gear, which is too much because you're not focusing on your character. And I prefer focusing on character and missions and story. And this have that. It's a beautiful method. Then this is the last Assassin's Creed, the true Assassin's Creed game, because it is focusing on your assassination. And the limited brawling game doesn't take away from the main story or whatnot. Okay, let me give you a short description of the weapon type and what is the difference between them. Okay, you have, like I said, the dagger, which is like they have the most highest damage value, lethality. You want that. I use that all the time. You have this weapon, the cane sword, and because you can't carry on a sword in England, but it's good enough for a cane sword. And then you have the puncher. I can't. You put it on your fingers, on your 5 fingers. It's like to punch around. Like I said, the great part of this is you're not focusing too much on this kind of weapons, but if you choose, you need to choose a weapon. I'll suggest the dagger, the Kikuri dagger, because it have the highest lethality. The sword is useless if you're fighting a lot of characters, because it's such a slow weapon. It has overly too much animated thing around them that you'll be overcome if you have fighting a lot more characters. And the last one, the puncher weapon, is fast, but it has very low lethality compared to the dagger. You might as well go with the dagger. That's it. Okay, so that's character, assassination focus, and weapon. And like I said, the gameplay. Now I want to focus on the world, and this is the biggest part. Why I love this world compared to Odyssey, compared to Origins. Okay, the world in Syndicate is beautiful. It's England during the Victorian era, and you get to meet all this kind. You meet to get Queen Victoria. You get to meet Darwin. You get to meet a lot of historical characters in the world, and that just, I mean, in Origins and Odyssey, you do meet all these famous characters, but the world in Syndicate is so much more alive to me, because you can just walk around and see children, women, men, families, in the park. They're just having picnics and whatnot. It feels so much alive, and then you see cops. You can just walk around the world and just go to visit Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, and then River Thames. The world feels alive, and I love that in this game. Because you're focusing more on your character, so your character really have personalities, and you can go around in the world and they can talk. They can mingle inside the world. You meet children, you help children, you fight the bad guys. You can see people who are pickpocketing or bullying the people. You can fight them, be the hero. And the world, to me, rewards you. In Odyssey, the one thing that made me stop halfway, because sometimes you get stupid mission from people around the world. You go and get a certain amount of things. That have also happened in Black Flag. You meet all this kind of minor stupid missions, getting all this a number of chickens and whatnot, and I hate that kind of, because it's ultimately a very mindless kind of missions, because it's like, why are you focusing on this kind of stuff? Not in Syndicate, you really have all this side mission that really means something to the world. And I think this elevate the games to such a higher standard on the best part, because you have this is a Victorian era, and there is a situation where child labors are rampant, and this is the first game I feel sad when I see this poverty and you see children are poor. You really see them, and I really felt sorry for them, and you want to help. And there are side missions where you free children working in factories. You go and attack all these factory owners and freeing the children. That is such a feel-good side mission that have impact on you as a person, as character, and in the world. Once you free up a mission, you free up that part of the world, because the world is controlled by bad guys. Once you do a mission for that one area, you win, you conquer the area, you free that area, and I like that. That's it. The side mission in this game are so varied. I mean, you can escort cargo, you can assassinate Templars, the bad guys, and then you can assassinate gangsters. You can not assassinate gangsters. There are two types of the same mission, where you assassinate Templars or you capture bad guys, gangsters, and send them to prison. And you cannot kill them. You can kill them, but better prefer you rescue, just send them to prison, kidnap them. And I love that variety. For the Templars, you need to kill them because Templars are the big bad guys in the game, Assassin's Creed games. But I love that kind of side mission, but assassination mission. I love that kind of options. Like I said, I'm going to the side mission with you, which is so far better than in Odyssey specifically and Origins, because you are giving you feel noble, when you're completing them. And one of the type of side mission that you can do over and over again, which is also like for me, is like a bonus game on its own, is the Fight Club. What they are in the certain areas, you will find fight clubs where you can play in different settings, and you can play them again and again, where you just go and fight, and it's just a really great MMA kind of stress relief for me, because you get to fight and you just release your stress. It's just become a combat type of game. Wow, I'm just a great martial art fan. If you're a martial art fan, you're gonna enjoy it, and you can still play. Like I said, all these kind of side missions you can play as Evie or Jacob, and both have different ways and fighting style and looks to the fighting. I love that. Like I said, there a lot of variety, man. What else? There are also mystery murder. This is side games, right? I'm not going to get. There are mysteries that you have to solve inside the world about murders, and then there are mystery about finding artifacts, and there is a variety of mission. And like I said, the world is fantastic. There is not one side mission where you have to collect 5 chickens or to do the stupid boring side mission where collect 5 chicken or collect 5 eggs, whatever. I'm done with it. After I played Syndicate, I will never go back to Odyssey. That's for sure. I might go to back to Origins, but because of the Egyptian setting is so different. But in terms of assassination gameplay, this Assassin's Syndicate is where it is right now. Like I said, the main missions is of course going back with the Estergo thing, trying to get the Templars bad guys to defeat them in the end, because Templars headquarters is in England, and what better way to play the game in the core, the core place, the main root of it is in England, and I love it. I love the world, the main mission. Like I said, even the side mission is not even side mission for me. There are so much variety, and even after you conquered all these areas in England, in London areas, you can basically go and live among the population, redo some of the mission, hijacking the bad guy stuff, what I mean. It's such a variety of things. Oh, there is also carriage races. You can race, playing a racing game. Man, I enjoy it. There's so much variety, man. I can go on and on and on, and that is alone is worth the price. And I know it's 2021. I feel so bad that I get into the game late, and yeah, man, I love this game. I love the combat. The combat is very fun to play. Like I said, this is not Origins Odyssey. Like I said, first you have the weapon type, and then the combat. You can fight as usual, but there's also indicator like in Batman game when people are going to strike you, you can counter that or just move forward and backward. I love that kind of combat system where you're not thinking too much, because you're not supposed to think too much. If you possible, the best challenge in the game is try to assassinate your enemies before completing the mission, silently. But you can also go guns blazing and fight them all, and then yeah, I like that kind of initiative. Oh yeah, I forgot. Inside I mentioned 3 weapons. Those are the main melee weapon. You also have a gun. You also have a throwing knife, and also bombs. But I hardly use them because my style of play is I try to assassinate everybody first, and I rarely use the gun. It's very weird that you have a gun, which is the most powerful weapon, right? But your focus is more on the kikuri because you do a lot of melee combat in this game. And it just gives me the challenge. You use the gun when you're fighting during melee, you can pull out the gun and fight using it. But I like it. I think this is of all the Assassination Creed game, I think this is the most future so far that you are setting in because you have guns. And the other game, you don't have that. And you can even play in Assassin's Creed Syndicate a Gatling gun level, which is fun. But like I said, this is full-on assassination game. I prefer the stealth kills, and some of the melee combat are fun, okay? Or like I said, again, then also Fight Club kind of MMA fantasy that I can go and play a separate game almost, but you get so much more reward that you can upgrade the main game. And like I said, okay, what else can I tell you? Okay. You also get a grappling hook, just like Batman. Yeah, you can just shoot in the top of the building and just jump, just like Batman. Batman Origins, Batman by Rockstar Games. You can play Rockstar. I'm sorry. All these Batman games just confusing. Where you have this grappling hook, right? You can jump from building to building and between buildings just using this grappling hook. And I love that kind of thing. Some people complain it, but I have no problem with this. I enjoy it. It creates variety. You feel like Batman in Assassin's Creed. I love this. I'm not giving up on this. I love it. And the one more thing that I want to add that depart from so many other Assassin's Creed games is there's no I have not played. I'm not the very minimal kind of gameplay where you have to follow a bad guy. I hate that kind of following game. You are following this character, whatnot. Just very minimal of that, and I love that. I love that kind of aspect. Okay, there are some bad things in the game. The control is a bit. Some people might complain about the control because there's no. The one bad thing is it's not intuitive. Sometimes you cannot. There's no what do you call that? Jump weapon. Jump control. The simple jump. There's no. You have to press R2 if I'm not mistaken, and then press circle to jump. It's so I don't know why they made it so complicated, but they took it out. I don't know why, but that is just a minor complaint for me. And like I said, the best part, again, let me see what else one can say. There's so minimal abstergo kind of thing. I hate all this future abstergo thing. I hate all this Isu kind of weird world that plays heavily in Valhalla and Odyssey, Origins, all this kind of Isu kind of world. I don't like that. I have to be honest with you, it takes me out. It's kind of fantasy, futuristic Matrix kind of world. I don't like that. I don't like all this kind of I don't like that kind of side story. I prefer to play in the period that this game takes place and just focus on assassination between Brotherhood and Templars. I like that. And I think that's it. What else can I say? The world is so alive, and you can go and play and live in this world. And I love Victorian England. I love watching people, watching the period, and getting involved with their life and helping children. There are a lot of poverty in this period of England. You get to help them, and you got to witness such a livable city. And because it takes place in London and the surrounding areas, it feels so much contained, but at the same time it feels so much alive. You don't get this thing like in Odyssey, the worst game. Comparatively, the world is huge, but it feels so empty. I really feel so empty in Odyssey. I mean, there's nothing there to keep me going and explore the world, because it's so vast. At the same time, it feels so empty. Not in England. Syndicate feels so alive. Okay. And I also just want to add, last time, what the bonus thing that did elevate this game to me into an A plus game. Of all the A, B, C, D, E rating, this reserve an A plus plus. I'll be honest with you, because of the bonus content. Okay, there's one content in this game that the game did not reveal to you right away. There is a bonus content when you can jump into this time portal and you jump to the World War I period. You even meet Winston Churchill. You jump so far into the future, and which make this game is the most closest to the future setting in terms of the world. You get to go to the era of World War One. You even get to meet Winston Churchill, and I think Winston Churchill one of the top leaders there, and then you got to meet soldiers in World War One. I mean, in England during that war period, which is such a bonus, huge bonus content and time. You get to see the London Bridge in the modern era. That World War One era. Is it World War One? Yeah, and then you get to meet. And I like that bonus content. It opens a new world. You don't just play as Evie, you play another character that live in that world. I mean, I love that. That is such a great bonus content. One that really elevates it to one A plus. Now the next bonus that elevate the game to A plus plus is the Jekyll and Hyde. There is a DLC which I think is like a separate game, like a bonus world. You play in this world as years after the finish of the Syndicate game. You play in this mystery game, and you get to play as Jack the Ripper and Evie Fry. I love that, because you get Jack the Ripper. The portion part where you can play as Jack the Ripper is so different from Evie and Jacob kind of gameplay, but it's such a different kind of game. I love that. That is such a good bonus content that you don't get from the main game. I mean, they add this DLC worth the price. You get to play in this new, beautiful kind of setting where you can play as Jack the Ripper and you can play as Evie trying to capture Jack the Ripper. And I don't want to spoil the story. Is such a worthwhile DLC which elevate the games to another kind of level, and immerse you deeper into this world. And because everybody wants to know Jack the Ripper, what's the story about, you'll be surprised how they make the story relevant into this Assassin's Creed world. I love that. And worth the while, worth the money. And like I said, the other game before this cannot compare because of these two bonus kind of thing. It just gives you a lot more and more fun world, a living world, interesting character. Like I say, you can switch between Evie and Jacob. If you feel like playing as Jacob one day, why not? If you feel like playing as Evie, why not? I love it. Oh yeah, I forgot the most important, that there are other games of this Assassin's Creed franchise. I was already mentioning all the bonus part. I forgot there's also a big part element of this game. You can create your own gang. You can create your own gang. You can upgrade your gangs. This is such a different kind of thing that doesn't have in Odyssey, doesn't have in Valhalla, it doesn't have in Origins. In all the other Syndicate game, all the other Assassin's Creed game, you can create your own gangs. And that is opens up a new world, because then you can either go into the mission solo, or you can play the side mission specifically. You can bring your gangs, or you can play as solo. It opens up the world so much bigger. Yes, and you can also, economically wise, you can also open your own pub, your own business. to gain more money. I think that is such a great, a great world to live. It's such a livable world. You can open your own pub, you can open your own businesses, you can get your own team, create your own gangs. I think worth the money to play this game in 2021. This is the best game. Like I said, Jack the Ripper at DLC and all this side World War One. Oh, it's such a value for money. It's such an extensive world. And this review is so long because I want you to see such a extensive and positive review for Assassin's Creed Syndicate, an A++ game. And I hope this review will help new players or those curious about the game, wanting to get into the game. And hopefully all this helps you. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry it's a bit long, but I want to give such a good detail about the game. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, score A++. Thank you guys. If you enjoy this, please give a like and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.